Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the topic bending of beams, bending moment, also expression for bending moment. Bending of beam. Before going bending of beams, we have to understand what you mean by beam. A beam is a uniform bar or rod having a rectangular or circular cross-sectional area of a homogeneous isotropic elastic material whose length is very large as compared to its thickness or radius is known as a beam. We see the beam in the construction site for building or bridges. It is used to support the heavy loads. It is mainly used for the supported for heavy loads. When the beam is in the vertical position, they are known as pillars. When the beam is clamped to one end and another end is loaded, they are called as cantilevers. When we apply a force to a end of the beam, then beam start bending. It depends upon the elasticity of the material. When the beam bends in the upper surface of the lengthening of the layer, in the lower surface shortening of the layer takes place. In between upper and lower surface, in between the upper and lower surface, there is a horizontal surface that is called as a neutral surface. Here dotted line indicate the neutral surface. In the following figure, dotted line EF indicated the neutral surface, or it is also known as a natural surface. When a beam is fixed at one end and loaded at other end, this is shown in this figure. Here the one end of the beam is fixed, another end is when we apply a load, particular load to this free end within the elastic limit. It will bend and couple produced inside it. The upper surface of the beam gets stretched. The upper surface of the beam that will be stretched and become a convex shape. It becomes a convex shape, and lower surface gets compressed. The lower surface that will becomes compressed and become a concave form. This is the figure of the bending of the beam. This is the plane of symmetry and bending. Here the middle portion, the middle surface, this is the natural surface, or it is also known as a neutral surface. This is the axis of bending. This is the natural axis or neutral axis. Here EF indicate the natural axis or neutral axis. The extension is maximum in the uppermost filament. Here the extension that will be maximum in the uppermost filament. The compression is here, the compression that will be maximum in the lowermost filament. Both decreases progressively. Here both compression as well as a extension will be minimum or decreases progressively as we proceed towards the section of the beam contacting the axis EF. Here towards the EF, the stretching or extension and compression of the bar that will be minimum towards the axis EF. The filament neither get extended or lengthened nor compressed or shortened. This surface is known as a neutral surface. Here EF is the neutral axis, or that surface is known as a neutral surface. The plane in which all the filaments are bent to form a circular arc. Here the plane in which all the filaments are bent to form the circular arc is known as plane of bending. Thus in figure B, here thus in case of figure B, the plane ABCD, the plane ABCD is the plane of bending, that is known as a plane of bending. The line perpendicular to the plane of bending is called as the axis of bending. Here the line which is perpendicular to the plane of bending is called the axis of bending. Here the line EF is the neutral axis. Here the line EF, that is known as a neutral axis. Next, bending moment. Let a beam AB be fixed at point A. Here the beam AB be fixed at A. Here A point will be fixed and loaded at B. Here we have to apply the loaded to this free end. This is shown in the figure A. Here EF, already know that EF is the neutral axis of the beam. Let us consider a section P, B, C, P dash. Here let us consider the section P, B, C, P dash cut by the plane P, P dash at right angle to its length, which is the right angle to its length. An equal and opposition reactional force W, here reactional force W must be acted vertically upward direction along P dash and P. The beam bend or rotate in a clockwise direction. Then beam start rotating in a clockwise direction. The couple produced in the beam due to the load applied at the free end of the beam, that is known as a bending couple. When the couple produced in the beam due to the load applied at the free end of the beam, that is known as a bending couple, and the moment of this couple, the moment that will be produced due to this couple, that is known as a bending moment. Let a small part of the beam bent in the form of a circular arc. This is the circular arc. Here let a small part of the beam bent in the form of a circular arc as shown in the figure B. This is the subtending angle. These are subtending angle theta at O. Here theta is the subtended angle at subtended angle in the following figure, figure B. Subtended angle theta at O, then R be the radius of curvature of this part of the neutral axis. Let A dash and B dash be an element at a distance Z from the neutral axis. Here this is the neutral axis EF. The distance from the neutral axis it is taken as a Z. Z from the neutral axis, the distance from, that is B to B dash or A to A dash, that distance is taken as a Z. Next we know that arc which is equal to product of the radius and angle subtended. Here in this case arc A dash B dash can be represented as arc A dash B dash is equal to R plus Z. Here the distance O to B, that is taken as a R, that is the radius of curvature R, plus here distance from B to B dash, that is taken as a Z. So that's why the arc A dash B dash, that is taken as a radius from O to B dash or O to A dash, that is taken as r plus z into angle suspended, that is theta value. So A dash B dash is equal to r plus z into theta. Then next, original length AB. Here the original length AB, which is free from the bending, the original length AB is equal to product of radius and angle suspended. The original radius of curvature is r into angle suspended is theta. So original length AB, that is equal to r into theta. Then next, increase in length. Here increase in length due to apply a force to the free end, due to applying the extra loaded to the this free end. So original length minus, so we have to get a increase in length. So A dash minus B dash, sorry, A dash B dash minus AB. Here A dash B dash is the extended beam, that is r plus z into theta, r plus z into theta minus AB. We know that original length AB is equal to r into theta. So that is, this expression can be written as here r plus theta, sorry, r into theta plus z into theta minus r into theta. So r plus r into theta minus r into theta get cancelled, remaining is z into theta. This is taken as equation number 1, that is a increase in length expression. We know that strain can be written as change in length to the original length. So change in length we taken as a increase in length, that is z into theta. Substitute the value of change in length, that is equal to the increase in length, that is z into theta divided by original length of the filament, that is r into theta. Here both numerator and denominator term consist of a theta terms. So theta that will be cancelled, remaining is z divided by r. This is taken as equation number 2. Hence the strain that will be proportional to the distance from the neutral axis, that is z. It is directly, the strain is directly proportional to the distance from the neutral axis, that is z. Next, divided by r. R is the radius of the curvature. Now consider a small area delta A at a distance z from the neutral axis. Let us consider a small area delta A at a distance z from the neutral axis, that is shown in the next slide. Here delta A, see the small area from the neutral axis, with its breadth is taken as b and height is taken as a d. This is the neutral axis, it is small area from this neutral axis taken as a delta into A. LM N T be a small section of the beam. Here imagining the beam to be of a rectangular cross section, that is the rectangular cross section of the filament LMNT. Here imagine a beam to be of rectangular cross section. For the sake of convenience and considering a section, that is section taken as LMNT of it, which is perpendicular to the length, which is this portion that will be perpendicular to the length and plane of bending, which is perpendicular to the plane of bending. It is clear that the line of lies on the neutral surface, that line will be lies on the neutral surface, that is internal force, here internal force opposing the extension in the filament act inwards, which is perpendicular to the upper half, that is upper half is taken as LM and FE, LM and FE. These opposition contracts that outwards, which is perpendicular to the lower half. Here lower half is taken as EFNT of the section. As shown, Although the two sets of the forces thus acts tending to bring the beam back to its original condition. That will be back to its original condition, that is the neutral axis, that will be come back to the neutral axis. The next we know that Young's modulus of the material, that can be expressed as stress divided by strain, or stress can be written as Young's modulus into strain. We know that stress is equal to force which is applied to a particular area. So, force is equal to F, force is taken as F, capital letter F, divided by areas, we have to take a small area of cross section, that is delta A. From this figure, we take a small area of cross section as delta into A. So, force applied for small area of cross section, that is stress. Stress is force applied for a small area of cross section. So, force divided by delta A is equal to Y into strain. We know that strain expression, already we know that strain is equal to Z divided by R. So, Z divided by R. Then the force F on a area delta A, that can be expressed as, so force is equal to, force F is equal to Y into Z divided by R. Here denominator term consists of a area, small area, that will be goes to the numerator of the right hand side. So, force can be written as force F is equal to Y into Z divided by R into delta A, that is taken as equation number 3. Then the moment of the force, that is the product of force and distance. So, already we know the formula of force, that is Y into Z divided by R into delta A. Distance is the distance from, here distance, that is the distance from the neutral axis, that is we know the distance from the neutral axis, that is taken as a Z. So, here numerator terms consist of a Z into Z, so Z square. So, Y into Z square divided by R into delta A, that is taken as equation number 4. Then total moment of forces acting on all the filament is given by, here total moment of forces acting on all the filament, it is given by, we have to take on the summation function. So, summation of, here summation of Y into delta A into Z square divided by R. So, Y divided by R is constant taken outside the summation term, then remaining is summation of delta A into Z square, where delta A is the small area, summation of the small areas, and Z is the distance from the neutral axis from each and every filament in the beam. That is taken as equation number 5. Here summation of delta A into Z square is known as a geometrical moment of inertia, Ig of the section. So, we know that moment of inertia, that can be expressed as summation of delta A into Z square, or which is equal to summation of delta A, that is A is the area of cross section, summation of small part of the area, the whole part of the area is taken as a A. Here Z is the distance from the neutral axis, that is taken as K square. So, here A is the area of the surface, area of the whole surface, and K is the radius of gyration. Here in place of Z, we have to take as a radius of gyration value K. So, therefore, moment of the force, here therefore moment of force is equal to Y divided by R, here Y divided by R into in case of Z square into delta A, you substitute as here Ig, where Ig is equal to A into K square, where A is the area of the surface, then K is the radius of gyration. So, moment of force become Y divided by R into A into K square. Here A into K square, that means geometrical moment of inertia Ig. So, this expression can be written as y divided by r into Ig, that is taken as equation number 7. Here this is called the restoring couple or bending moment of the beam. Therefore, bending moment M of the beam, here bending moment that will be expressed as of, that will be indicated by a letter M. So, M is equal to bending moment, M is equal to y divided by r into Ig, that is taken as equation number 8. Here the quantity y into Ig is equal to y into, substitute the value of Ig, that is A into K square, is called the flexural rigidity of the beam. Here the numerator term consists of a y into Ig or y is equal to y into A into K square, that is known as a flexural rigidity of the beam. Here the bending moment M of the beam have two possible cases, one for the rectangular cross section, another for the circular cross section. What is the formula for rectangular cross section, also circular cross section, that will be discussed in this next slide. Here for rectangular cross section, area can be written as area is equal to breadth into height. Here area is equal to breadth into height. Here breadth of the rectangular cross section is taken as B. Here height of the cross section is taken as a D. So area is equal to breadth into height. So rectangular cross section area can be taken as breadth into height as D, and radius of gyration K square is equal to D square divided by 12. So that the moment of or bending moment of the rectangular cross section can be taken as here. Before that, Ig, geometrical moment of inertia, Ig is equal to A into K square. So area, we know that area is equal to breadth into height, that is breadth into D, into K square, that is we know that K square for the rectangular cross section is D square divided by 12. So Ig value becomes B into D into D square, that is D cube divided by 12. So we know that bending moment for the rectangular cross section can be written as M is equal to y into Ig. M is equal to y divided by r into Ig. So moment of or bending moment for the rectangular cross section can be written as y into B into D cube divided by 12 r. This is taken as equation number 9. For in case of circular cross section, area can be taken as area A is equal to pi r square, and K square, radius of gyration K square value is equal to r square divided by 4. So Ig become geometrical moment of inertia, Ig is equal to A K square. Substitute the value of A and K square. A is equal to, area is equal to pi r square into K square, that is K square, that is equal to r square divided by 4. So this expression become pi into r square, that is r to the power of 4 divided by 4. We know that bending moment for the circular cross section, that is M is equal to y into Ig divided by r. So y into Ig value is pi r square divided by 4. So that bending moment can be written as M is equal to y into pi r to the power of 4 divided by 4 r. This is taken as equation number 10. This expression is bending moment for the circular cross section of the beam. From above equation, it is clear that the bending moment M, which is directly proportional to the y, that is Young's modulus of the beam. The next also bending moment of the beam is the moment of the resistance to bending offered by the beam. The resistance to bending is depends upon the value of y, that is Young's modulus of the given material. If smaller value of the extensions and compressions of its filament, if the smaller value of its either extended or compressed, then what will be the value of the Young's modulus? Then we get a higher value of the Young's modulus for the material of the beam. That means if we have a smaller value of the extension or compression of the filament, then we get a higher value for the Young's modulus of the given material. If smaller the extension of the beam, the value of the Young's modulus for its material, which determines the resistance to the bending of the beams, or even a thin rod. It is also applicable for the thin rod. This is about the bending of beam and bending moment. Here bending moment can be written as Y divided by R into Ig.